Welcome to episode 19, I think, of the Mainly Wrestling Show. It's the end of year awards. It's been a great year for all involved. It's a Christmas week here in Gibraltar still. And JJ, nice and balmy 19 degrees today. Took the kids to the park,
Beautiful,
I'm
wasn't it?
guessing.
Beautiful. I didn't, but.
George was loving the swings ran by Morrison's. Glorious. It's 80 degrees. I think that's like 24 degrees in our speak in Miami, right, Lissy?
Ours,
Du-
ours speak.
Double it and add 28. I think my
No,
mum
it's
works it
like
out
it's
as
like
21
high
degrees.
20s. It's
Yeah.
about like 28, yeah.
21 degrees. But nevertheless, it has been another year. Guys, we've been doing this now for 18 months. So this is our second end of year awards. I can't even remember. I think I just remember last year was Dax Howard, FTR, Jamie Hayter, maybe some about CM Punk. Probably what we're going to have here again today, with a bit of MJF thrown in there. However, this is Lissy's show today, so I'm going to let Lissy lead. It's her list, her awards. She's the one who's in the business. So,
Gosh.
Lissy, we'll start with yourself. Superstar of the year. You've got a very fitting wardrobe for this prestigious award. Am I right?
What wardrobe do I have?
I thought you were wearing a We the Ones hoodie on, no?
No, I'm not. This is
Oh,
actually like I'm wearing such an old Brock Lesnar hoodie.
ruined my segue.
It's
Tremendous.
okay. Sorry. Um, so I think, Jack, what are you doing with that hat? Okay. Um,
Christmas. What would you want to do with that hat?
so I think for this year, more than any other year, I hope that we all choose the same person. Well, actually, I think John chose somebody else, but really, was there anybody other than Roman who's more deserving? Like he he's received it in previous years, but I really feel like it was the most deserving this year for him.
There is over, and then there is over, right?
Right.
Roman is when you're the face of the company, when you are, I suppose you think when you become the guy, right? Only most recently I can think Cena.
Yeah.
That's it. Even Punk went at his height in WWE, what, 2012, 2013? JJ, you might be the guy here. Even Daniel Bryan in what was it, 2014? He won the gold at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He still wasn't really the guy, right? He didn't get the big push behind him, as JR likes to call. Um,
So I guess I when I was thinking like who's wrestler of the year, it for me it was like in ring. And as much as like Roman is over and I do enjoy his matches, I don't think any of them have been like incredible. Like I don't think there's any matches that I could pick out that are like
I've not watched
amazing.
one.
I better
Uh,
not hear you say Chad Gable. I better. Not gonna say Chad Gable, but the person that I chose is someone who has had incredible matches all year Okay. long. He's had an amazing match against Punk at the start of the year. He's had matches against Cash Wheeler, against Adam Cole. He's had um, even matches in other promotions, in indie promotions, against like Speedball Mike Bailey a few months ago. Had an amazing match against Bryan Danielson just last month. And so my wrestler of the year is a personal favorite of Jack's, Dax Harwood.
Not here,
Wow.
mate. By the way, it's a nice
So
announcement. Dax Howard has just released a podcast that'll be on ad-free shows. Dax Howard at FTR, that'll be on there.
so I think we took different approaches to this because Mm-hmm. if I'm thinking wrestler of the year, it's not Roman.
Did not
Right.
expect that, by the way, JJ. I was thinking, I'm trying to go through like
Yeah. Like if we're saying wrestler of the year, okay, yes, 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 yes.
my wrestler of the year would be
Um,
John Moxley, but I mean that's
Yeah, and I think it's close as well. Okay, okay.
Moxley's been
I
there all
respect.
year on the back of rehab. What last year was it? I want to say.
He returned early this year, right? hmm
Yeah. So I
And
think he went off in. He was just about to turn heel last November-ish, right? And then Punk came out and gave a great speech. But if you're looking at it from the industry, right? Who's the poster boy? Who draws people in? Who
yeah,
moves the needle? It has to be Roman. I think John Moxley's been the best wrestler of the year, and you think that he's now a three-time AEW World Champion. I suppose you could argue he's lost the belt three times, but for him to, he was about to go on holiday, right, with his lovely wife and nice daughter, wonderful daughter, and then brawl out happens. He cancels everything, ends up main eventing against Grand Slam against Danielson. But I'm with Lissy. Like, you have to look at this from an industry-wide perspective, right? If you are looking from afar into pro wrestling, who's the guy at the minute? It's Roman, and it's not even a question for me. And that's from someone who loves Dax Howard.
Yeah,
Wow.
my point of view is like really in ring rather than sort of industry as a whole. But obviously, I'm not going against Roman in saying that.
Hey,
Like,
JJ, I love it. We can clip this up and I can send this to Dax. And I messaged him last week. Dax, a bit cheeky, fancy coming on the podcast. No reply. Do you know what I mean? Just read on Instagram. Scene. Okay, never mind. It was worth a
You'll
try.
be all right.
I mean,
You'll
to
be
be
all right.
fair, he did in the past in the week since he's launched his own podcast himself. So,
fair enough.
good luck to him. So that was Superstar of the Year. Well, agreed to
As
disagree.
male, female
It can only be one.
can only be one.
Jamie Hayter.
Wow, what's happening? Are we watching the same sport?
Been unreal.
Excuse me? Let
So
me just
it-
rearrange my bauble.
Came in right as Britt Baker's lackey. Britt Baker was
Jamie
the most
Hayter.
over woman in the company, like by far. There was no one touching her, right? No one anywhere near her. Thunder Rosa had the title, never really
Thoughts
got
and prayers.
over, like just barely had any TV time. Then Tony Storm came, like had a decent run, like really good in-ring matches, but when she faced Jamie Hayter and like Jamie was supposed to be the heel, like the crowd were just like unstoppably behind Jamie Hayter to the extent that they ended up having to give it to her because just the crowd were so behind her, and like just has amazing matches like every single time she's in the ring. Amazing.
To that, sorry to interrupt you. To that point, and Alyssa, you can have the rebuttal afterwards. I was going through trying to find. I was trying to do like an edit of her entrances. She always does a weird thing like this, right? And she became a superstar, right? In the past 12 months, she was a great pro wrestler this time last year. And now she's developed a character. She's developed an in-ring persona. She knows where to have to look at the camera. She's now developed she did something where she did her hair and did a double bicep flex at the same time. That type of shtick is brilliant, but didn't have that 12 months ago. But if you look at the responses from the crowd she was getting
6 months ago.
No, and that's a testament to her working on it, you know. And Danielson and Regal said this a few years ago, saying, you can get better at something. Daniel said, I was crap, you know, at promos when I was the world champion at ROH 2005. If you want something big enough, you'll practice it and you'll improve and you'll get better. She has obviously done that and she's been rewarded. But if you look at the responses she was getting slowly from July, August, September, again, Britt pulls the referee out, she should win the belt, but all the way up until winning the title at Full Gear, the response has been incredible. And is that just the knowledgeable AEW fans getting behind her or appreciating good work? I don't know, but I'm with you, JJ. All about.
I think it's both, and I don't want to downplay Jamie Hayter. I think she's had a good, solid second half of the year. But when I think about like female superstar of the year,
Can I guess who you're going to go for?
Go.
Bianca.
Bianca, yeah.
It's Bianca.
And very deserved as well. Same. It's a Roman.
No.
It's a Roman argument, right?
Right. It's like she's carried the women's division. She's had big matches all year, right? Like I think if this is like my perspective on somebody like Jamie, if she keeps this momentum and they don't drop the ball with her all of next year, then yes, she can be in that conversation. But she's not in the same. She's not even in the same book right now as Bianca.
I mean, and this is a bit biased, right? Because Bianca's had a great year because she got interviewed by Lissy Almeida back in March. So, you know, she has had the cherry on the icing on the cake at Madison Square Garden being interviewed by Lissy Almeida. It does not get better than that. You have peaked in your profession.
It's not a secret that I'm a big Bianca Belair fan, and in fact, I think she was my superstar of the year last year on the women's side. I don't think she's had as strong a year this year, although I think she has been in some really good matches and some really good feuds. But And I find it really, really hard to sort of compare between WWE and AEW, like what someone achieves here versus what someone achieves here. But I think the year that Hayter has had, and maybe it is a bit of a recency bias, like looking at the last 6 months, but like she's come such a long way from where she was 12 months ago, and is smashing it as the women's champion, main evented the most recent Dynamite.
Oh my god.
Which is very, very rare for the women, right? Like they're usually in that death slot right before the main event. So and they smashed it out of the park last night. I mean, everyone has good matches against Hikaru Shida because she's just unreal and like massively underrated.
Is it not weird that Shida went missing for 4 or 5 months? Like, what the fuck? Like, Shida
was she?
Yeah.
So good.
Can we segue into Breakout Superstar of the Year, because I feel like it's a good continuation from this part.
Can I one more question before that, JJ? Do you think we'll go that after, Lissy, with Jamie here, the fact she's got over in front of a notoriously difficult audience, right? AEW fans are, I don't want to say they're a bit troll-like. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
But they are a certain. You kind of make the comparisons to ECW fans in the late 90s. They're all quite smart. They all know what's going on. They all think they're far more clever than they are. And that's us as wrestling fans, right? It's something that's inbred in us. Do you think it's harder, and therefore it's more respected probably by the likes of us, to get over in front of that audience than the WWE audience? Just for you, JJ.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the person. Like there are, I actually think it's probably easier to get over in AEW if you're given the time. I think if you're given the time and you're, I think that the AEW audience will take to people who are good at what they do, which obviously is. I think in WWE, it's really, really tough to like get that time in the first place and then like be consistently at the top. I mean, at the end of the day, like the cream always rises to the top, right? Like someone like Sami Zayn this year, someone like Sami Zayn this year, who like has kind of just been sitting in the background for the last few years. Like we know how amazing he is, but he's been given like a good storyline, like some fun matches, and he's like the most over thing in the company aside from Roman Reigns, right? So I just think it's different, and we've seen people as well who maybe don't get over so much in WWE. They get released and then they have an amazing time with AEW, like people like Swerve and Keith Lee, who neither of which did anything amazing on the WWE main roster, but are having an amazing time in AEW. So
hey, my favorite hip hop star was back last night, wasn't he? Mr. Hustling.
Your boy Rick, what a mess that was. Jesus.
You a big motherfucker. Did he bleep that out? Again, I've just seen the clip on socials.
The way that he just turned to him and said it, like, what?
And the thing is, right, still wasn't as good as the way Brock did it. Again, they're all Rumble, and this is me not being a WWE fan. Brock's there going, big boy. And this guy, Parliament, who's this big motherfucker? the subtlety, right? Brock will forever be underappreciated for how brilliant he is, but that's a different story.
He is a big man, though. Like when you look at it, like just next to somebody like Brock, Brock is not a small man. Like even Rick Ross is not a small man, and he's like towering over him. So that was
the supreme boss. Am I right? Is that right? The supreme boss. No, I've botched that. Never mind. Let's talk about the Eagles and talk about Fleetwood Mac, right? That's very my type of genre, befitting.
So breakout superstar.
Okay, so breakout superstar of the year. We've kind of already touched on these two. I'll tell you guys both of my picks, and this was actually a little bit hard for me because I think when you think of a breakout superstar of the year, it doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't been in the business a long time. Are you all right? Okay.
I was getting surprised.
Okay. Doesn't mean that you've been in the business for a long time. You probably just were waiting for that 1 year. You know, sometimes it takes 10 years to get that 1 year that is really memorable for you. So I have a few people in this conversation. Please bear with me. The first person is Sami Zayn. Even though I feel like he's had a really solid career, like this was that year that you're like, oh my God, like they've been wasting his talent.
Yeah.
He's so good. And he's like, if you told me a year ago Sammy's gonna join the bloodline, I'd be like, first of all, you're on drugs. And second of all, if you're like, oh, Sammy's gonna join the bloodline and he's gonna make it so much better and he's gonna make everybody around him so much better, you probably we couldn't have guessed that this was gonna happen. Right. And then you have somebody who's my other pick, somebody like Gunta, right? This is his first year.
Sorry. How would you say his name again?
Gunta.
I've been to Europe. I'm just gonna
have you heard how they say it? I'm like making fun of how they say it. They're like Gunta. Okay,
I don't watch SmackDown, no.
But like this is his first year on the main roster, and he's Intercontinental Champion. And I think that having somebody like him with that belt, like that's the worker's belt. That was always the belt, that was most popular when we were little. So like putting some prestige on that belt's name is, what he's been doing this year. So I really love and appreciate that. And then last for the women, I actually chose Jamie Hayter as my breakout female superstar of the year because, like I said, I think the second half of the year, she really excelled and she stepped out from Britt's shadow. But I think this coming year will be even better if we keep up the momentum with her.
So I went quite a different way with mine, and again, like it was kind of a struggle because we didn't sort of define the parameters for breakout superstar. So what I kind of thought was, like who's gone from this point to like this point this year. So on the men's side, my choice was Ricky Starks. He started the year like FTW champion, like was having great matches and like people thought a lot of him, but I don't think he was really considered in that like upper echelon. And now like towards the end of the year, he's had a world title match. And I think that even though he's lost that match, I think when it comes around to it in like a year's time, I think he's going to be like one of the people who will be like at the top of the line to potentially take that off MJF. And there's not many people that can match MJF on the mic, right? But Ricky's like really, really shown himself to be a match for MJF. And I think if you can do that, you can take on anyone on the mic. And like being compared to The Rock at his age, like it can be a burden. It can be a burden in a lot of ways, right? But like he's just running with it, and I think he's doing really well with it. Like not to become like almost a parody of The Rock, but just like to have his own personality and bring that across. So Ricky Starks was my one. And then on the women's side, I do agree with you with Hayter, but I already had her as my superstar of the year. In terms of like having a breakout year, my choice was Rhea Ripley. I think like the stuff that she's done with Judgment Day, basically to the point where she basically runs that group. And it was even involved in a very rare intergender match on WWE this week, beating Akira Tozawa, right? So Rhea Ripley was mine. I just think like, and I've always thought a lot of Rhea Ripley, like going back as far as when it was like her and Bianca in the last two of the women's Royal Rumble, like a few years ago now. But I don't think she's ever quite hit those heights that she could have. Whereas like Bianca's just gone from like strength to strength. Like those were the two big names that came up from NXT a few years back, and Bianca's obviously gone a lot further than Rhea Ripley has. But I think she's had a really good year. Really like the stuff that she's done with Judgment Day, and is having some kind of really fun matches and showing what an absolute like kind of powerhouse she can be in that division. So be excited for her next year, and hopefully we'll see her holding some gold again. But those are my two.
Mr. Milner?
I've got two. I mean, I found this was very difficult, and just I like to
mostly because you don't watch wrestling.
Well, I have like a million wrestling pages to try to update, darling. I don't have time to watch wrestling. I'm too busy making memes. Anyway, thanks for all following us. We're up to No Context Slayer 55,000 and 2,000 people added. 3,000 people added yesterday. That's insane. Woo! A breakout star this year for me, Rock Ross. Accusations. Bad accusation. Wait, no, is that right? JJ? Do you know, I can't think. Do you know, this is honest. I don't think that there's been one, and this might be controversial. I don't think there's a pick for breakout star. I think this year, comparatively to the last few years, has been really poor in terms of people, men on the men's side, what's the line Vince would use? Grab the brass ring.
Mm-hmm.
There is nobody in either company where I think, like you mentioned Ricky Starks, right? Has he really gone to that next level the past few weeks? I don't think he has. I think he's had a great few weeks. I think I messaged us saying that promo he got on Dynamite was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I can still don't see him beating MJF. I still don't see him seeing him being world champion. Eddie Kingston at the start of the year was being built like he was going to be that guy, or that the working, a bit like Dusty Rhodes, like the common man, the working class guy. He fights harder, and then Jericho completely cut his legs underneath him and beat him clean, and see you later, Eddie. So I was thinking about this earlier, and the guys, it's really difficult because nobody's there. The only person I thought was maybe Bobby Lashley, because again, I will dip in and out of Raw. Again, can I finish? He's been booked properly for the first time in a while, where he looks like a killer.
In his life.
If Bobby loses, it's because he's been fucked over, or it's a three-way and someone else gets pinned, and he can go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. That wouldn't have been the case a few years ago. But for the men's side, I'm going to say none, controversial, and the women's side, I'm going to say Bianca Belair, because to your point, Lissy, she took another step this year where it was seen as like she had the thing with Becky, right? She got beat inside a minute at SummerSlam last year, 18 months ago. And then it was a bit won it back at WrestleMania. And then she's been positioned as above the division and solidified that for 9 months, which is how you book a star.
She's the one.
Even as a roster there with Rhea bloody Ripley, and Becky Lynch and Asuka, she's the champion and she doesn't act stupid as a babyface, or it's what I mean. It's a WWE way of people can be booked to look stupid despite the fact I'm the champion. I've been the champion for 9 months. Exactly. So for me, breakout star, based on John's definition 5 minutes earlier, you've gone from that to that. Bianca, she's not necessarily at Roman's level comparatively, or on a parallel to, but she is now a made woman. And people like Becky Lynch can go and lose on Raw now because she was made 2-3 years earlier. Once you have those stars and they are made, they're made forever. So they've done a brilliant job with her. All credit. But on the men's side, I think it's been a really poor year for. And let's be honest,
it was hard for me to think of someone. I'm not
most drama has been done behind the scenes.
Yes.
Breakout star has probably been like CM Punk's dog, Larry. That's about it.
Well, do you guys want to go into?
Hey, you're the presenter. Come on, Liz, and you can't.
Well, can I just
Oh, sorry, JJ, go.
On breakout star of the year, like there was another guy in AEW who I think has like gone up at a big level and like had a bit of a breakout year thanks to like one huge breakout match when he faced John Moxley and lost and got his absolute arse kicked. And that was Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, Yuta.
Yes.
And like you think of where he was like with best friends and kind of just like in the background, everyone like thought that he was really good in the ring, but like never really showed it. And then being recruited by the Blackpool Combat Club, which obviously kind of got stuck a little bit in that feud with Jericho Appreciation Society. But he's got gold around his waist as the ROH champion, whatever that means to anyone at this point. But like at least to me, it shows that they do think highly of him. He's had like 3 really great matches with Daniel Garcia, who's like another one who I think in the next few years will be like an absolute staple for AEW. So I think Wheeler Yuta a long way.
So I had, you guys know I go over these with my best friend before I bring them here. So I had that same discussion around Wheeler Yuta. I feel like Wheeler Yuta had a good first like 4 months of the year. And then like really hasn't done too much. I think when I think about this, I'm thinking like consistency throughout the year too, right? And then when I think about like Daniel Garcia, it's like I feel like he could have been, but he's gotten lost in the shuffle of the Jericho Appreciation Society mess that it really hasn't given him the full opportunity to shine. Because he's so mixed in with those guys. And first of all, there's a million people in that group now, so
The other one as well that I thought, and I don't want to go on this for too long, but I thought Swerve has had a bit of a breakout year because like
Yes.
I genuinely like every time you see him, whether it's on the mic or in the ring, like he blows me away. And I don't think out of all the people that were signed this year to AEW, I don't think he's necessarily one of the ones. Even when you go right, him and Keith Lee, which one's going to do better? You probably go Keith Lee, but I'm just impressed with him every single time that he steps onto the stage or into the ring. Like he's super over. That intro music is like huge, and I think that he's going to have a big year next year when he goes separate ways from Keith Lee and hopefully has like a really great singles run because he's a really awesome heel.
Thanks.
Yes, agreed. I'm sorry, Mr. Milner, do you have something to add?
Breakout star if you're going to put tag teams. The fucking Acclaimed. What a year. What a year.
We could move to tag team of the year if you want.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I I can't do the American accent.
What a year.
Can I talk like this?
Yeah, let's move to tag team because But
in terms of breakout star, right? Even as a tag, I mean, we can go to it later in terms of. I was saying earlier, I can't believe how improved Anthony Bowens is. Right, he's phenomenal, and he's probably overlooked because of great luck. Probably overlooked this time last year, but what a year for the. If you'd have told the Acclaimed this time last year what would happen for them in 2022, I doubt that I believed it. So as a breakout tag team, they wiped the floor with everyone.
So they are actually. I don't know if we want to jump. Do we want to jump to tag team of the year?
Yeah, let's go to tag team.
So mine was the Acclaimed.
Come on, John. No.
Come on.
FTR have had a bit of a miserable end to the year, right? They lost. I mean, the matches against the Briscoes were all phenomenal, but like they've lost that recent match.
It doesn't matter, darling. It's work. Don't give me about they lost the match. It's that it doesn't matter about winning or losing.
And I mean, I had Dax as my superstar of the year as well, but like they lost to the Arse Boys last night. I mean,
spoilers. What?
Sorry.
Sorry, the Arse Boys. Listen, you mock my accent, and he calls. They lost to the Arse Boys last night. Nothing.
They did lose to the Arse Boys.
This is a handicap match.
That's the way that it's said. It's because you said yeah, like that was very Yorkshire. The way
That's
you said
the one thing Lorraine will constantly pop up if I say it. You go, yeah.
Yeah.
What year is it again? 1984. Sorry, John, go on.
It's the Acclaimed for me. Like super over, and they've just like you say. I don't think anyone at the start of the year would have gone. Yeah, I think the Acclaimed could have a run with the belts. They were almost like a bit of a comedy tag team, but. And the other thing as well with them, like it almost seemed like they kind of got the tag team titles because like the crowd was so behind them, but would they actually be able to like do well with it and have the quality of matches that we've come to expect in that division when you've got the likes of the Bucks and FTR historically been right at the top of that division in recent memory. That's a high bar to meet, but I just feel like they've surpassed it every time and really come into their own in the ring. We always knew how charismatic and fun they were outside of the ring. But,
to your point, JJ, like so, Kevin Nash, right? Constant popper, like Big Sexer is probably one of the top 5 coolest men alive. Even more so for a white man who's 63 with grey hair. And
great hair.
So many, great beard. So many comments that Will Ospreay's the greatest wrestler in the world today. And Kevin Nash has replied, "What's his merch sales like? Did he make any money? How many 5-star? Yeah, he's had 7 5-star matches this year. How many t-shirts he sold? How much money's he made? It's about the money and the miles, baby. And again, they Acclaimed top sellers on Pro Wrestling Tees, #1 on AEWshop.com. Mm-hmm. They're over, baby, and they're making a lot of money right now. All credit to them.
Like when they came out with that, like this scissor thing is stupid. And then by the end of the year, we're all doing it. Like, like, and it doesn't hurt them that they have Billy in their corner, and Billy is just. I mean, I think having him as their manager has really helped them too because
it's not even been confirmed that he's their manager. What? He's just there, Daddy Ass. What's his title? He's Daddy Ass.
He's Daddy Ass, right? Like he adopted them. You saw the plaques. But Billy had one of those non-conventional tag teams with Road Dogg where you're like, these two guys don't look like they belong together, but they have good chemistry and they, coined a few good phrases that we all still know till today. Like I think that having him in their corner having Billy in their corner has really helped them this year, and you see the difference.
The old Billy rub, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm so sad that when I wrote this, I said specifically no women because we're just not even going to choose a women's tag team because the women's tag teams don't exist at this
They
point.
do, right? The Killer and the Pillar. Britt and Jamie.
Anyway, we're really not there.
Jamie,
Obviously,
if you ever want to come on the podcast, Jamie, we're here for you.
Jack specifically is really here for you, Jamie. Give him a call.
Oh my God.
I actually ended up choosing the Usos because I think that there's nobody else, guys. You have to.
So just to reiterate, Lissy's picks are Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Bianca Belair, and the Usos. Lissy, can you just show the camera what your phone has on the back of it right now?
Oh, I have a new phone. I have nothing.
Absolutely fucking flawed there.
I know. I just got a new phone not even a week ago. So we haven't gotten to all that yet.
They say in English terms, you'd say you've mugged me right off right now.
I think we know who Jack has picked.
FTR.
FTR have had a phenomenal year, right? In terms of, if you would have looked at what they'd have, again, Christmas time, on their wish list for 2022, this time last year, okay, rest of the Briscoes, they had a phenomenal trilogy, wrestled the Bucks again. Again, my match of the year, I'm going to have to go watch it again. I've only watched it twice, but FTR versus the Bucks from February was phenomenal. And I'd have put the match with them again. I love tag team wrestling when done right is just so good, and they have mastered that art. The match against the Acclaimed 2 weeks ago was I watched it not knowing the result. I thought Acclaimed have to. It's so weird that they've put this on really quickly, but the Acclaimed have to defend and have to win the match. But I still bit at like 2 proper near falls. But they've had a phenomenal year. Like I said, they've wrestled in local indies. They've wrestled with Bret Hart managing them. They wrestled the Rock and Roll Express. They've done everything. My only worry is, are they now heading up north? Top guys out. You're right, Trips. You got that contract for us?
Today.
Dax and Cash, I've got a contract with your name on it, boys.
He said very, very soon. Did you see what I sent you guys on Twitter today?
I don't go everyone on Twitter. I only go on my own Twitter and Instagram is when you send the stuff, Lisa.
Oh my God. Well, he said
who's he?
Dax said he's looking forward to working with Cody again very, very soon. So that
but the thing is, but my only hope is, right, Dax Howard is a very clever man.
Yeah.
He would not be, if he was going to do, would he not keep it quiet and go, look, I'm committed to, yeah.
I think you don't know. He could just be trolling too.
So you and I have done this in the past year. Surprise a friend, turn up at their birthday party or whatever. And I said to him, yeah, sorry, I can't make it, or something's come up that weekend. I don't say, yeah, I'm going on a flight tomorrow. I can't wait to see you. Like when I was back in the UK a few weeks ago, yeah, sorry, I can't make it, pal. A lot going on at home. And then I, turned up. Oh, fucking hell! I never knew you coming. I know. That was the red herring. So my idea with Dax is surely. Also, right, I know you two don't like CM Punk. John's an elite.
Really?
Hold up. I have a CM Punk shirt. I was buzzing when CM Punk came back. That was one of the few times I actually stayed up to watch Rampage. That show. I am just gutted that he's not going to be in the company anymore because.
And that's my question.
Watching him.
He posted a photo on Instagram with them two like 2 days ago on his Insta story, and he's done a few of these now. What does this mean? Could Punk come back?
He could just be trolling. because he is a troll.
He just strike. Wow, well that's hurtful. I mean, he just strike me as the type of guy that would enjoy people biting at this stuff.
The latest odds are 8-15 that he next appears in AEW. It's 3-1 WWE.
Is this with Rafa bet?
Greggy bet, and it's 3-1.
You can't get on there, can you?
I can now. Yeah, he's let me again.
Please reopen my account. I promise I'll be good.
No, he didn't. He just said it one day. He was like, "Yeah, your account's open." That's cool. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So WWE apparently is the path. Sorry, AEW is the path at 8-15.
Okay. And listen, if you had to say it, listen, wow, we'll have to clip that up because that was a phenomenal eye roll. You went full Undertaker then.
And then just like exhausted after, right?
2023, if you had to pick one, Punk will wrestle again in AEW, he will wrestle in WWE, or he won't wrestle at all. What would you pick?
I would love the latter at all.
I'm asking you, not what you love, what do you think will happen?
I think it would be AEW before WWE.
Would it not be just really funny to see? And we'll never see like the footage, right?
It wouldn't be funny.
Can I finish? Punk and Triple H, we meet up again after like 8 years. So, Punk, I know we fired you on your wedding day. Hey, that was all Vince, right? He was running the ship then. Is Vince still kind of running the show now? No.
I just honestly like the amount of like he is a spiteful man. So I can't think of a scenario that he would.
When you say he's a spiteful man, he being Punk?
Yeah. And like I think like somebody like Triple H, he's always gonna do what's best for business. But at the same time, I feel like somebody like Punk, because of all of his feelings.
Baggage. A lot of baggage. Huh? He's got a lot of baggage.
Yeah, like I can't see it. I personally can't see it. Like I can't see a scenario that makes him feel comfortable enough to go back there, because he's gonna get there. He's not gonna be the locker room leader. He's not even gonna be close.
That response he got right at the first Rampage, he wouldn't get that at a WWE crowd. Would not get that at all. And I think
he would get a pop. I definitely think he would get a pop, but I actually think because of the way that he showed his ass so much this year, that I don't think that the WWE fans would receive him that same way.
It depends, right? Because they might kind of see it like, if you're a real WWE mark, they might see it as like turning his back on AEW. Well, yeah.
Fuck you.
But then the other side of it is that he said a lot of shit about WWE whilst he was
right.
He's fallen in court. Yeah.
But then so did Cody, and
he never went to
welcome.
Never went to Shrine.
No. I understand that. I'm just saying from a fan's, like, I'm not talking about what the company would want to do, but like the fans, right? I mean, they probably don't really care that much about like lawsuits or whatever was said in court. That was a long, long time ago. But like, if they know that Cody's been on TV saying whatever about WWE and smashing up thrones and stuff like that, and then comes kind of not crawling back, but comes back.
Can we discuss, right, Cody's WrestleMania press conference? Because Triple H has been, I mean, I've said it for a long time, Triple H has been my favorite wrestler since I was a kid. Sorry, what? Cody, come on, buddy, come on.
What about your dad? What about your dad?
I mean, no, when he was a WCW guy, he's born in Atlanta. He was like the state wrestling champion in Georgia. He was a little stinger. Of course he was. He was like around the age. But then going, I couldn't wait to come back here. Triple H is my idol. What? Come on.
So, can we
I can't believe as well, by the way, Brandy Rose hasn't been on TV yet. Shocker, right?
Small miracles. Thank you, God. Can we segue into match of the year then? Because I had a little bit of a hard time with this. However, I ended on Seth Rollins versus Cody.
That's my girl. Yes.
Jack, I don't even know if you saw that match. This little thing called Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
No. I watched the WrestleMania match. I think
the Hell in a Cell one was better.
And that was good. That was when Cody came out with the broken tit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Lissy, if you're going to adjust your hair like that, you've got to go full Jamie Hayter.
Lissy, give us your reasons.
Lissy, if you're doing that, if you're doing this, you've got to go there.
I do this all the time. This is actually my hairstyle, and I'm going to start licensing it out to people. I really no. What my justification for this match?
Yeah.
We could have gone a lot of ways, right? I think I could have chosen pretty much any of the FTR matches, and I don't know. It was a very difficult decision, right? But I think that Seth Rollins is probably at the top of his game right now, and it kind of sucks because like it's always like him versus Roman, but like I think in terms of like being like super inventive and being able to have he can have several matches with Cody and they can't have a bad match, right? And then obviously this is like there was a good build-up story to it too, and then it just ended so well. Didn't end that well, but it ended so well that Cody, ends up tearing his pec and still wrestles the match. It's like, Jesus Christ, like if you want us to give this to you, just say that. Like it's the story around the match, also the quality of the match, and like the fact that they were able to put on the match and not injure him further. I mean, I don't think you can make that type of injury worse, but just all of it. So that really was the top one.
As a responsible employer, Lissy, should he have been out there wrestling the match in the first place?
My God, no.
He's got a torn pectoral muscle. Why is he there? If he was an employee, if you were there in your place of work with a very debilitating injury and you even attempted to carry out your duties, you'd have been told, you have a sick note, you are not fit to work, stand down. Is this the perils of being a what's the term? Not a contractor, independent contractor.
You're getting very political right now.
I mean, it's bad form. I didn't like to see that. I didn't like to see it.
This is that gray area that we always talk about, right? Where it's like, excuse me, they're not responsible for your health.
If you'd have made that 10 times worse, are they going to pay his bills? Absolutely.
He did make it worse, right? But anyway.
And the thing is, right, if Bruce Pritchard had said on the Something to Wrestle podcast, going, Cody was asked, do you want to wrestle the match? And he went, yeah. Okay, that's not how it should work.
I mean, it definitely shouldn't be his decision. But again, it's that gray area. Like they don't owe him shit if he gets a debilitating injury and he can never wrestle again. Like what are they going to do?
No, well, find another star. Never mind. See you, Cody.
It's the wrestling business, brother.
Can't start licensing that neck tattoo. So, JJ, do you agree with
Lissy? That neck tattoo is criminal.
Yeah, that was the one that I had picked out as well. And like, there's been a lot of good matches. Like we started the year off really strong with I think it was the start of the year, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page. The hour-long one.
That was fast.
Like that was up there for me. But yeah, I settled on Seth versus Cody. I had quite a unique watching experience. Like, as anyone who watches in Europe will know, most of the time we are watching like the day after, unless it's a crown jewel or something when it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it is like, you can be fast forwarding through stuff and you like, might miss little bits. But for me, as any parent of young children will know, I got woken up in the middle of the night, went to go back to sleep, looked at my phone. I was like, it should be coming up to like the main event of Hell in a Cell. So I chucked it on the WWE network on my phone, and it was just as they were coming out for the start of this match. I was like, I might watch for a few minutes, see what's going on. And it's like 4:30 in the morning probably at this point. And like the second that Cody like took his jacket off and revealed the extent of that injury, I was just like hooked and just sat up and watched that whole like whatever it was 25-minute match. It was just phenomenal. And maybe like maybe that memory sits a little bit stronger in my mind because of the way that I watched it. But yeah, for me that was the standout match. When I'm thinking about like match of the year, I'm thinking about like which I don't even kind of like look through like the big matches or try and decide. I'm just thinking like, right, what match do I really remember really, really, really strongly? And that for me was just like number one.
Do you think there's a chance that there was that injury might have been a little bit the aesthetic might have been enhanced a little bit.
100%, because like from the very
A
start
little
of the
bit of
match,
makeup on those
like
titties, weren't there? A little
like
bit.
a little chalk or like
Look at
just being
Lissy's face.
thrown.
I say these things, sorry, it's just because I say just kind
No, it added so much to that match
I'm
because I
such
You're
a
think
referring
Connecticut.
to them.
Disgraceful.
You guys notice every time I'm like saying something Jack says it's ridiculous, but like titties, like what?
What? You can't say titties.
It's funny.
But we're British. We can say things like that. It's fine. It's very liberal.
Man.
Hey, we don't have evangelicals out here. We're all right. Titties are good. Titties are fine.
Okay, go on, go on.
You're fine
titties
saying
are
titties, but
good.
you can't. Titties are fine. You can't show nipples. It's very strange. It's like
So
Instagram.
weird.
If
So
you're Mandy
weird.
Rose, you can't even not
Hey,
show
Mandy Rose
nipples.
is doing just fine. Just
Don't worry
fine.
about Mandy. She's
500,000 a
getting that
week.
bag, baby.
I have got 20 unread DMs on Babers of Wrestling, and these are the type of people who subscribe to Mandy Rose with pleasure.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Never had that many dick pics. I feel like such a pretty girl.
Okay, so women match of the year. This was very easy for me because it's really I had a hard time at WrestleMania this year, I'm not gonna lie. WrestleMania is long. Those 2 nights, it is long. But for me, it was Becky versus Bianca. Easy.
Yes, that was
Jack,
the same
did you
match
even
for
watch that?
me. That was the same
No.
match for me. Like I struggled actually to kind of think of like an amazing women's match. I was thinking through like AEW, like there's been some good ones, but I really don't think the top of the card has been like amazing in AEW. Like I think it's been a
And
little
they
bit of
could
a
have.
mess, like the champions that
They're
they've had.
trying. They're now trying. They've now got
Yeah,
They
Josh
have
who can
they
actually.
have the talent to do it. That's the part that has me so mesh up. Like you guys have the talent. They've just recently, what in the last 3 months, started investing in their women.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they now have a champion that's credible and speaks properly. Like, have you heard Jamie Hayter with a wonderful English accent? Is glorious.
That Hater versus Storm match, like where Hater won the
That's my
title,
pick.
like
Hater versus Storm at Full
that
Gear was,
that
oh
would be
my
the top
God.
one in AEW. But
It was stiff. So was I. JJ, your match, sorry?
yeah, it was the same. It was Bianca versus Becky.
Okay.
Yeah.
JJ and
So
I here.
I don't think there's too much more to say about that. And it's
Yeah, I
weird
don't
for
much
me
WWE,
that
so the thing is, it's a bit sad because I used to have such a strong emotional connection to the product. And the thing is, right, once you lose it, and that's why you've probably seen the ratings, right? It's really hard to commit like you once. It's a bit like going back to an ex, right? It's hard to fully commit like you once did. They're going, I've been burned before.
I
I
don't go
can't.
back.
Never.
Cannot.
Oh, there you go then. This is living proof of this. And like, yeah, I tried again in like 2005, 6, and it was
It's a
awful.
bad idea.
It was
Don't do it.
yeah, and I'm there watching Shawn Michaels and God wrestle Vince and Shawn. And I'm thinking,
Oh my God. Shawn
and I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on here? It's 2006, right? And Vince is there on Muscle and Fitness magazine. It's a weird time. I've got back into it,
Michaels.
hearing that
Weird time.
CM Punk is going to be back on WTV, right? And ECW starting. So I started watching 2006, and then like the 2007 WrestleMania main event, I think was Shawn versus Cena. And Cena won clean. I think Shawn tapped out. And I'm thinking, what is this? I'm out. I'm gone. I actually watched the December to Dismember pay-per-view, which I think was the worst of all time. It was live on Sky Sports 3. And again, I'm thinking to myself, Punk's going to win a big title here. I'm going to stay up for it. Still, the ROH mark. And that's the thing I was saying before off air, Lissy. When I left Huddersfield for Gibraltar in 2012,
Never went back.
CM Punk came out for his last match in Ring of Honor with the song called Last Train Home.
The Lost Prophet.
No, that's the band with the nonce, right?
Yeah, I don't know any other Last Train Home songs.
And it's a very emotive song, and it means a lot to me. And that's what I'm listening to as I walk through Departures, and it's like, I love you more than, but I've got to go, right? And I remember Punk was like the first guy in the fields, and Punk got pinned like he was the first guy out of the Elimination Chamber in 2006, and that was because Paul Heyman kept saying to Vince, Punk, he's your guy, he's the future. Paul, will you just shut the fuck up? Do you know what? I'm going to get rid of him first to make an example out of you, and the Big Show's going to be champion. Oh, And so therefore, I
don't
found it.
even remember this.
I found it. I do clearly.
Yeah,
Again,
this is really remarkable.
Dr. Karen will hear about this in a couple of weeks. So since then, it's been very hard to emotionally connect to the product again. And nor will I probably ever again.
So let's stay here because I feel like we can continue based off of my response to the next one and our last topic, which is feud of the year. I'm going to go real quick on the women because I had, again, a very difficult time.
I can't think of one.
I've enjoyed the Bianca and Bailey stuff. I really can't think of anything that was on SmackDown that I'm like, oh, it was a big feud for me. Can't think of really anything in AEW either that like, because it was tumultuous here, right? Like we had interim champions, we had,
That's a good word, tumultuous, very good word.
Yeah, like we had a lot of interiming happening. So if I had to choose one, I would say,
Do you say interrimming?
Interim champions.
Don't search for that on Google, kids. That's a different. You want to go incognito for interrimming.
You're out of control. So if I have to choose, I'm gonna say Bianca and Bailey just because I see the projection and I see how far it can go, but it's not like it's not like something that you can just be like, yep, that's it, boom, I agree. However,
that was very like Howard Finkel. That's the announcer in a. However,
my men's choice is CM Punk versus everybody.
Oh, okay.
And that's
JJ, you're with me, right? Punk versus MJF. You've had to nod. Yeah,
100%. There's no other.
Lissy's being cute.
No, it's literally him versus everybody. What are you talking about?
Lissy, right? You can relate to him. I'm tired. I'm old. I'm sick of working with fucking children. I feel you, buddy. I feel you.
No, I actually I had a lot of hope for CM Punk coming back because I actually didn't like him at all in WWE, at all.
You still don't?
Didn't miss him. And then I was like, oh great. He can come in and he can help to elevate, and build talent and stuff like that.
He did.
I'm getting there. God.
That's what she said.
But then it ended so poorly. And then just his behavior, it was just like, are you 40 something years old? It was just reminiscent of his previous behavior and all the the outlashing and stuff like that. You guys know how I am. Jack, are you all right?
He's thinking about interimming.
It was I thought that's just one of my favorite. That's what she says of all time.
It was just exhausting. It was just exhausting, and it was just you need to be more professional. I think. I don't know. I lost a lot of. I don't even want to say respect. I just didn't like the way that he behaved, and Tony brought you back from the dead, and it's you versus everybody. That's really what it was.
From the dead. He was on the Fox show, right?
Oh yeah, everyone watched that, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean obviously CM Punk versus MJF was good, but if you want to say feud of the year, with just matches that everyone's enjoyed and no one's ever really got sick of it, even though it's gone on for a little while, it's JAS versus BCC, right? Brilliant, whole way through, loved it, fantastic.
God, JJ, you've gone full on Gervais here. Yeah, loved it. Got a feud. Yeah.
So glad it's over. Poor Ricky Starks, man. He's going to be in a 6-month feud with Chris Jericho now. Poor guy.
Yeah.
No, so what's your answer, JJ? But sarcasm and dry British wit aside.
It's Punk versus MJF. I don't see how it can be anything else. It was a fantastic feud from kind of start to finish. Great matches. Like those two on the mic, both phenomenal. Yeah, that's the feud of the year.
The deft booking of that and the things put in there from the ROH Punk's run, the Summer of Punk in 2005, the dog collar matches of Raven from 2003, the greatest thing the devil ever did was making people. Oh.
The history as well, with
the photo of him meeting him as a fan.
That was cute. That was great.
As a 3-month program, that was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It didn't outstay its welcome either. So,
and the thing is, as well, here's one for you. If Punk and the Elite don't have that brawl backstage, MJF comes back that night, he's won the title. What would have happened for the next 3 months? MJF has just come back and he's won the chip. Punk's just become champion. Does MJF beat Punk rather than Moxley at Full Gear?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Actually,
The whole thing
tough.
was built. I think the whole thing was built for Punk to put MJF over and for MJF to be the champion. And in the end, they just had to kind of switch course and have Moxley do it instead.
Do you think it was going to happen there, though? Do you think they were going to prolong it until next year?
I think it would have happened there.
Okay.
John Moxley is really like he's really got the short end of the stick, hasn't he, this year? Like he's had to kind of fill in, and then he loses the title versus Kenny, gets kind of screwed out of it by Don Callis, and then loses the belt to Punk. Punk after beating him in about 3 minutes 2 weeks earlier, and then loses the belt to MJF in November.
That whole 3-minute match, by the way, was an absolute fucking mess.
I remember watching that specifically. Again, I think I told you, like I put the start on, it wasn't the start, right? So I've zoomed to like 1:45. I thought we'll get into it. Not there. So I'm going back on the Fight app, and I'm like 58 seconds of coming out. What the fuck's going on? And then he beats him like 3 minutes. Like what?
Yeah.
And I still. And Punk does a big rah-rah speech in Chicago the week after, which I don't like. It was just a bit, yeah, we can do it, guys. Come on. Like, you aren't that guy. You aren't that guy. This is not John Cena in front of her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome. Welcome. Yes.
That's not you. That's not you.
Not you.
Where's Chicago? We can do it. Like, fuck off, pal, please. And what was the question? What was the award? Feud of the Year, Punk.
Feud of the Year.
Just for the opening promo alone, 20 minutes, and then MGF talks trash for 10 minutes, and then just Punk goes, Max, I'm so disappointed in you. And the crowd goes, oh, disappointed. Not disappointed.
Dad? Like, what?
I am so disappointed in you, Max. Brilliant. Anyway. Lissy, next award. Is that you?
That's it. That was the last of them.
That's it, buddy.
I have got 5 quick-fire questions. I'm going to give you both.
Go.
Okay.
I'm going to start with Lissy. And I want your first thought on all 5.
Okay, hold on. Let me get ready. Okay, go. I'm ready.
Is that your British voice again? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Biggest disappointment of 2022?
CM Punk.
You can say Punk. I thought of it, yeah.
Keep going.
Worst feud?
Worst feud? Oh,
Worst feud.
God. Oh,
I know
God.
JJ was going to answer that immediately. But
Yeah.
It's got a tower involved, yeah.
Do you want to switch it around and ask me first?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time because
I'll need time to get this down.
I feel like
okay, we'll go with John. John's the man that is a bit more less poignant. Biggest disappointment of 2022?
CM Punk.
Worst feud of 2022?
BCC versus JS.
Biggest money left on the table?
Probably CM Punk again.
Punk and the Elite, right? Yeah, exactly. The most overrated?
Most overrated? That's actually tough. Wardlow.
Oh, didn't expect that one. The most underused or underutilized?
Chad Gable, obviously, every day.
Obviously, yeah. I clipped that up. That's good for the socials. That. And your biggest wish for 2023 in terms of professional wrestling?
I hope for big
Chad Gable,
for the AEW women's division as a whole. Like we already said, it's been a bit of a messy year this year, but like with Jamie taking them forward, I'm looking forward to her having a really awesome feud with Britt Baker. It's going to be really exciting to see what Saraya does. Potentially on January 11th, we'll have maybe have Sasha Banks in AEW. That would be awesome. And if she's there, like that is going to take their division to new heights, I think. I would love to see that as well.
Lissy, what's our man Rick Ross? What's his nickname?
Ricky Rose?
No, isn't he called the Boss or something?
The Big Boss?
Yeah, the Boss.
Rick Ross managing Sasha Banks. What do you reckon?
The Boss and the Boss.
Could she
Well,
be called
she's
the
not
Boss?
going with that name. She's
Trademarks?
going
Right.
Mercedes Bernardo.
Okay. Well, we'll work it out.
Oh,
Lissy,
I'm ready for my answers now.
yeah, quick fire questions. Come back to me later. Right, cheers, Lissy.
No, I'm ready now. Sorry.
Worst feud.
myself.
Worst feud.
Anything involving Omos.
Yeah, fair.
God love him. I've tried watching him, and
wrestler.
Jim Cornette absolutely ruins him to pieces. Going,
Dreadful.
he needs to fucking learn how to work. Biggest money left on the table.
Unpopular, but I'm gonna go a different route than you guys. Everything with the Judgment Day, I feel like they have all the pieces to actually have like a really, really, really solid stable, but for whatever reason, it's just not working. So maybe I'll call it that my disappointment.
I've got one question. I'll add it to then, JJ. You come back. Yeah. Most overrated. Please say Chad Gable. Please say Chad Gable.
No. I actually love Chad Gable. Most overrated.
FTR.
No, Matt Riddle.
Yes, I don't get him. It's fucking annoying. Most underutilized. Women in AEW as a collective. Serena Deeb.
Not Dominic Mysterio. Where did she go? Oh,
great series.
Honestly,
Shida.
I think it's Shida because she is so good.
I was just thinking that.
Like, I'm sorry. I know that this is gonna come out the wrong way, and I don't want it to. But like, she speaks very good English.
Did you speak that? Were you trying to speak Japanese English there?
No. She speaks. Okay. Like, I'm like shocked. Like, she speaks such good English. Like, they don't give her enough mic time.
Can I just say, like, everyone has their best match against Shida.
Yes.
Like, if you think back, like,
Shida Deeb 2 was my women's match of the year for a long time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and their match last year, that was like a kickoff match, and it was the first match back in front of fans. I think it was last year. It was like amazing. The match on last night's AEW Dynamite against Jamie Hayter, amazing. I think the highest rated match in AEW, I think like 3 of the top 4 were Hikaru Shida matches from this year. I think that's right. I'm not wrong, but yeah, like she just had amazing matches with everyone.
Excuse me, Britt beat Shida for the belt, didn't she? That was a good match. Am I right there? Get that? This has got 2 years ago.
This year?
Yeah,
18 months ago.
Yeah,
it's been some time, but yeah.
So let's see something. Your biggest wish for you. So you never actually said the most underutilized.
Hikaru Shida.
I just said
so you did that. Yeah, ignore him.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Your biggest wish for 2023 professional wrestling.
That Dom Mysterio will go to NXT and learn how to be a superstar there.
You didn't want to plug like Coastal Championship Wrestling, or?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like in the companies that we've been talking about.
Oh, in the Fed. It's been how long? You've not even mentioned yet.
My biggest hope.
Where's the Carmelo Hayes plug? Listen.
Well, I know I didn't name him for anything this year.
I know.
I still love him. I think for me, it's that I get to remain being the voice of CCW. Can't lose my title now, guys. I have an award.
To remain? Do you get the option here?
They might fire her.
They might fire me, or they don't have. What if they?
I'm already fired.
I'm already fired. But what if somebody else gets the award next year? I have to hold on to it.
Unless Mean Gene is coming back from the grave, I think you're fine, darling.
I'm all right.
And the last one, book how, where, why does Roman lose the title?
I already know what I think.
I mean, I'd say Cody WrestleMania night 2.
But do you know what? I'd actually love if Sami Zayn did it. But yeah, I mean, everyone seems to think it's going to be Rock night 1. Rock loses, and then Cody night 2, and Cody wins after coming back at the Royal Rumble and winning that. But I would love it to see Sami Zayn.
Honestly, I actually don't want to see The Rock come back. Sorry, I want them to keep this path of current superstars, the younger generation, like let them do their thing.
Mm.
I don't think that
You
The
went
Rock
very
needs to
you went very into your Peter Almeida voice then.
let them do their thing. No, I don't think that they need The Rock to come back to take the belt off Roman. I think it's Cody
No, but it wouldn't
is
mean the belt. Yeah.
Cody wins the Rumble. It's him and Cody at Mania. Obviously, we know that Sammy will have some involvement in the breakup of the bloodline. I'm really sad about that, but it's all gonna work itself out in the next 4 months. And then, my God, one of my biggest wishes is that people will not have to point to the WrestleMania sign too much.
Oh my God!
In the first 3 months of January, because
it's the second week. It's the second week in February, and they're all doing this. Like WrestleMania is 7 weeks away. Like, calm down. It's like you having your big quarterly review, right? And 7 weeks before, like, hey, look at those figures, doing good. All right,
it can change.
That bonus might happen. Just
relax.
Relax. JJ, you're going with night 2, Cody.
Yeah, just feel like that's the way it's going to go.
If the bloodline turn on Sammy, which is probably likely, does he become the biggest? Does he become a bigger? Say Cody returns in January, the bloodline turn on Sammy in early February.
Yeah.
Does Sammy become the biggest babyface in the company?
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a good chance Cody has his thunder stolen.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
That could be problematic.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to kind of see how that plays out. But then I think that they'll kind of have that feud over and done with, or they'll have Sammy and Kevin Owens going for the Usos, right? And then it'll be Roman and Cody.
I mean, from your point there, I mean, could it be? Did you see Kevin Owens? See, in my head, it's always Kevin Steen and El Jericho.
Best friends.
Great feud with the Briscoes in 2007. Could they
we could see them lose all their titles in one night, right? Kevin and Sammy take the tag titles, and then Roman loses it to Cody.
That sounds very plausible.
The dismantling of the bloodline right before our eyes.
And that's just one more question before giving the rumors that's going around. Could Vince come back?
Of course he could. I don't think he will. Like, it's not. I know that he still has like a majority shareholding, but it's still not.
He owns 82% of the company.
Yeah, but it's not as easy as he can just go, oh well, I'll just come back and ignore all what the shareholders want, and their stock price will tank.
Well, JJ, this is Vince McMahon. He can do what the fuck he wants. He's mental.
Let's see. I don't think he will.
I think he's probably somewhere enjoying his, as Peter would say, his retirement.
It wouldn't be the same without a Peterism.
I haven't had a lot of Peterisms this episode. I mean, Vince, stay where you are.
To your point, I don't think whatever he's doing, he's enjoying retirement without a doubt.
I don't think
he wants to be there running the company.
It's so hard to go from living and breathing a company, and it's not just like
for 40 years.
No longer. Like, think about that. Like, you travel with this company. You've gone all around the world. Like, you don't just. It's not a 9 to 5. You don't stop your job at 5 and go home and unplug. Like, this has been his entire life, 24/7, 365 for the last. I mean, for pretty much his entire adult life. Since when he was working with his father. So,
as someone who did it for 5 years, and I was, again, JJ will tell you, I was Jack Milner of Bet Victor. I was Jack on track, and then I got sacked. Once you lose your identity, he's now just Vince or Granddad.
Yeah.
Or what do you call it in America? Like Pawpaw? I think it's Ric Flair's grandkids call him Pawpaw. Yeah, Pop. That must be really weird, because Vince always struck me as a guy that kind of enjoyed a little bit of the fear, right? People kind of being in awe of him, people going, "Oh my God, this is Vince," and now he's at home.
He pokes his chest out. He is a peacock.
Oh, God damn it, pal! Yeah, and now the kids are just there, like fucking kicking him around and stuff. Like, what is my life? Because everyone was just like he treats Triple H more of a son than Shane. Because Shane, you're gonna have to get in the gym and be less sweaty, pal. Triple H, you're like the son I've never
Oh.
had. You're right, Shane.
Oh my God, I hate you.
Oh,
I'll never forget last year. He's like, no one, absolutely no one. Jack, why is Shane McMahon always a big sweaty mess?
Again, I've not watched it. When I was a kid, right, I had the Shane O'Mac jersey. This is like 99. He beat X-Pac for the European title. Brilliant. I've come back and started watching in 2018, and he was tagging with the fucking Miz, right?
Yeah.
And he'd be wrestling for 3 minutes, and the man is purple. And this is like Ric Flair wrestling at 73 purple, or Ric Flair having a heart attack on nitro levels of color.
Oh my God.
And then didn't Shane like book himself to be like the best guy in the Royal Rumble this year? Was that this year?
Well, that was
And then he was sacked like the week after.
that was the reason for his untimely exit.
That was this year.
It was this year, man.
Been a long year.
It has.
Who won the Rumble this year? Look at your faces. It's been a long year.
Wait, was it Edge? Wait, what year is it?
You two are supposed to be WWE fans of the state of the
We're
area.
unwell. Oh my God, we're so unwell.
JJ, stop Googling. JJ.
I'm sure. I just feel like it was there doing it look really stupid when it wasn't. But
I think you're right. I think Ed returns as the big surprise, right? Just before COVID hit in 2020. And then he had the thing with Randy, right? They called it the greatest match ever. And then wrestled like an average four-star. Then wrestled the four-star match in front of an empty crowd.
It was Lesnar anyway. So.
Lesnar won the Rumble this year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he came in.
Brock Lesnar then entered as a surprise number 30 entrant and eliminated Randy Orton and Bad Bunny, bringing the final four to himself, McIntyre, Shane McMahon, and Matt Riddle.
Wait,
Lesnar
sorry.
eliminated Riddle and McMahon before having a stare down with McIntyre. Missed the Claymore kick and Lesnar threw him over the top.
Wait, was this the year that Edge and Christian hugged in the ring? Because Christian then left.
That was
last year.
That was pandemic year. That was last year. That was in front of no crowd. That was Christian's big comeback, and there's no one there.
Edge's big comeback.
No, it was Christian's big comeback.
Oh, Christian, sorry, you're right.
And then he signed for AEW like 6 weeks later. Yeah. So sorry, the last four were Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Bad Bunny, and Shane McMahon.
No, Matt Riddle and Shane McMahon.
Wow. Shane put him. Wow, Shane. God love him. That's impressive booking.
Shane eliminated Kevin Owens. I remember that.
But the fact that neither of you knew. See, when I was a kid, right, I knew every Rumble winner, every last two, from like 90 through to 2004, 5. Did Benoit win the Rumble in 04? But that show is that not like a worrying indictment that you two who are big WWE fans didn't know? The Rumble's like such an icon.
It was the worst.
It was a long
Rumble
night
ever. Like it was just shit the whole way through.
Did we live stream that, or was that the year before?
Don't remember.
We live streamed the Rumble one year.
It must have been this year because we weren't doing it 2 years ago, were we? It's only been 18 months, right?
I think so. Yes, we did live stream this year.
Did I go to sleep beforehand or something?
Yeah, you left unceremoniously halfway through. We won't go into details.
No, that was AEW. That was in March.
Okay. Anyway, so thanks for coming, everybody.
Let's just doing the wrap up. That's brilliant. That was Revolution.
Okay, great
you're
job.
Right. It was Revolution. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we did do the Royal Rumble.
But no one remembers it, obviously. Great work.
Yeah.
Cheers, Frank, anyway. I'm sure you did. Frankie probably stayed up for a long time editing that for nothing.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank
Alyssa, are you happy with the awards? You think they're all very fair winners?
I think we did our best this year. It was an interesting year in wrestling.
Not a lot of love for AEW this year, Lissy. What's going on? Not a lot of love for AEW this year.
It is what it is.
Wow.
What?
That's like, Lissy, we don't talk anymore. Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Oh my God. I hate when people start that bullshit with me. I'm the wrong one. Anywho.
She's the wrong one. She's basically like a googly out of Shane Warne's leg break. Oh, Shane Warne type this year as well. It's been a terrible year. JJ, any final thoughts for 2022? Are you happy? Are you hashtag blessed, hashtag grateful?
Do you know what? I had a really good year. Not just wrestling, but personally, been an enjoyable 12 months, and I'm looking forward to the next 12 months. And I think we're going to have a better wrestling year in 2023 than we had in 2022. Because 2022 was just all about fucking craziness and Vince and Punk and all these ridiculous things that happened. And
Back to basics.
now hopefully we can just have some awesome wrestling.
So as
and AEW in London. See you there.
Yes.
AEW in London in May. We'll all see you there. Frank, get your best frock out. Get your best frock out. We'll bring you.
Not the best frock.
We'll give you a nice night out in London. It's fine. He lives in Wimbledon. It's all right, Frank. Fingers crossed. And so say all of us, JJ. 2023. Hopefully, be a lot more, professionally, personally, and on the wrestling front. It's going to be. He can't get any madder. This past 12 months has been fucking mental. So fingers crossed. This time next year, Lissy Almeida is a 2-time voice of wrestling for Coastal Championship Wrestling. John Jacobs, still a 2-time Dad of the Year, and I will still be, hopefully, just existing. I've been Jack Milner, he's been John Jacobs, and she's been Leslie Almeida. For episode 19 of the Mainly Wrestling Show, end of the year awards. We'll see you all very soon. Ta-ra.